Hey everyone, it's Louis, the founder and CEO of XBorg, and today I am really excited to finally have this public pitch. So it's a presentation of XBorg, just like I do to investors or to friends. And whenever I start, I like to start with the problems of the gaming industry and why are we here. So first is your game data is worthless. If you're listening to this pitch, you're most likely a gamer already, and you've most likely spent probably hundreds or if not thousands of hours playing games. But the thing is, the data that you'll generate is not yours at all. It's stored in centralized databases, and if you lose your logins, it's gone forever. And it's very hard for you to monetize this data. Second is the data that you generate is fragmented over many different platforms, ranging from Steam to Riot Games to Faceit. And it's hard to have all of your data in one single container. Also, and that's probably the worst of all, gamers are not rewarded. And we like to say at XBorg that if a game has no players, it has no value. So what brings inherent value to games are the players, but they don't perceive any of that value. So those issues are to us substantial, and it touches not the lives of all of the core members of XBorg, but the lives of so many players out there. And so now let's deep dive into how does XBorg truly help in solving those issues. Well, XBorg is a gaming protocol creating the future of gaming with a gaming credential and application network, which creates the identity and experiences of the players of tomorrow. So it's a brand new way of thinking about gaming and your data, where players take ownership of their data and where developers can create more applications on top of your data. And to make it simple, the credential network creates like a single ID which contains your gaming credentials from many different games, which can be how good you are in CSGO or the number of tournaments that you've won. So you have to think of XBorg as mainly two networks. One is the data network, and second is the application network that we build on top. What's interesting is the applications on the upper network can use the credentials network to create better experiences for the users. And we'll now deep dive into the opportunities that this unlocks for the gaming world. So a game developer can integrate XBorg to offer customized in-game experiences to their players based on their digital identity, so that when they start playing, they don't start off of nothing, they start with already existing data, which can be that you're very good at an FPS game or that you're one of the best TCG player out there. An esports team can also reward fans based on their fan identity and recruit players based on their in-game credentials and not based on who they know within the gaming space. An asset owner of an NFT today can't really lend an asset to a specific player, but we are unlocking this potential. So with XBorg's credential, an asset owner would know who's behind the profile and can safely lend assets to that person. Also, gamers and game developers can provide way more efficient matchmaking, which is not based on just one data point, but on the credentials of many different games for one specific player. So if you understood it, it's a brand new paradigm for gaming, and this truly has the potential to transform the way we interact with gaming applications, where we use one single ID, but with many different applications out there. So now let's take a deeper look at how it all works. So the way it works is that we track the following data points. We track esports engagements, gaming data, and social activity. So these data points come from on-chain sources, but also off-chain sources. And we track platforms like Steam, Faceit, Riot Games, Twitter, or Discord, and so on. And once you enter into the protocol, your data is encapsulated in soulbound tokens, which are non-transferable NFTs. So the credential network, in the end, is simply a collection of soulbound tokens, which represents your player ID. And what's great is that developers can integrate your player ID with the tools that we create. And they can create unique applications by doing so. So we've discussed in the past a couple of use cases but I will just reiterate, is the application network will be composed of a soulbound launchpad, reputation-based lending, more efficient matchmaking, but also a game and fan engagement app. So that sounds pretty cool, right? It's a brand new way to think about gaming application and a brand new way to think about your data as a player. But the main challenge that any network has, in fact, is the initial growth. It's really hard to get started. So what have we done to grow initially? Well, we've released a gaming engagement platform in beta, which is featuring a unique questing system based on in-game data, where players leverage their social engagement, gaming achievements, and esports activity to access unique perks and benefits from the games they play. So you have to think of it as a layer on top of any games, really. And we had a huge success while doing so. In a span of just 2 months, we have scaled the network to 10,000 players, tracked over 100,000 data points, and minted 4,000 badges. And the badges are what represents the identity of a player within a specific game. But we're not stopping here. We're actually taking things to the next level. On the V1 of our engagement app platform, we are allowing gaming communities to engage with their fans, where esports teams and gaming influencers can create social and in-game quests and have their own avatar. And the avatar represents the identity of a fan. So here we see one of the characters. What's interesting is as you complete quests within the platform, you unlock specific wearables, and of course the premium wearables, so the ones that are very rare to obtain, are only given to the best fans out there. So it's an amazing way in which esports teams, gaming communities can incentivize fans to take part in the fan journey, and that's also a great way in which fans get involved. Also, the wearables that are generated are actual NFTs, so it's the property of the fan. What's interesting is those can be sold, so there is a secondary market for fandom trading, which hasn't been done before in the blockchain space. And a lot of people are excited about this technology, especially the esports industry. We have successfully onboarded the world's champions on Rocket League, but also the fastest growing esports team in the world, Team BDS, which will be the first to use our gaming and fan engagement platform. And that gives us a unique opportunity to scale our network to hundreds of thousands of esports fans around the world. And we're currently closing partnerships with more than 20 esports teams so that they can use our platform to engage their fans, but also to empower their fans to own their data and to build their identity. One of the other use cases of the network is the soulbound launchpad. So as we've stated, we have the credential layer, which is the first layer, but we also have applications that use those credentials. And the soulbound launchpad is just one of them. It's unique, and I will explain why it's unique now. It's because on launchpads that you use today, you don't really know who's behind the wallets. You don't know what they've done, specifically in the gaming industry. You don't know what type of player they are, what's their experience, to what community they belong, etc. With the soulbound launchpad that is integrated within the credential network, games can finally target specific gamers to have them invest very early on within their game. And what's interesting is this not only becomes a way to attract capital, but also a way to grow your community. And we also had quite the success doing so. We facilitated the investment of 200,000 USD across 6 of the best Web3 games, and we had about 290 unique investors take part in this new application. What's interesting about XBorg is we aim to be a complete DAO, and today we are backed by the most competitive Web3 esports organization, and we also are backed by one of the most engaged community in Web3. And just a couple of things to testify that is that we had a Genesis NFT that was sold out in just about 26 minutes, and we raised 400,000 USD while doing so, and that was in a complete bear market. Not only that, but also 1.4 million in soft commitments for the seed round. So this goes to show you that our community truly believes in the vision of XBorg to empower players globally via giving them ownership over their data, and that's super exciting to us. One of the unique feats of XBorg is the XBG token. In fact, XBorg is built in a decentralized manner, where part of the revenues that are captured, and in fact 50% of revenues that are captured, go to the people that own XBG tokens and that are active within the protocol. So that's one way in which believers of XBorg get some of that value back. The other half goes to project and ecosystem development, which is part of the treasury of the DAO, which token holders can vote upon. The utilities of the XBG token are manifold. First is in-app payments and platform fees. So across all of the applications of the network, there will be premium functionalities or there will be touch points where you have to pay. One example of that is the engagement app. We've seen that you had wearables for completing quests. Well, some wearables will be sold to players, and the currency for that will be the XBG token. Also, there are fees, like the launchpad that we've just seen. For facilitating the investments into games, there are of course fees that players have to pay. And all of that goes through the XBG token. You also have protocol and application access, where part of the protocol will be gated to only specific XBG holders. You also have staking, which I just discussed about. But most importantly, governance. Because XBorg is built in a way that anyone will be able to participate in the network, build applications on top of the network, which will be open and composable. Along our journey, we had the pleasure to partner with the best brands out there, including the leading brands in Web3, but also the leading brands in Web2. Some examples of this are Brave, Polygon Gaming, Yield Games, and just recently, the Team BDS. One thing to note is that we are actually the gaming venture of a much larger organization, XBorg. XBorg is the leading European crypto exchange that has about 750,000 verified users, close to 1 billion of assets in their management. And what's interesting is our relationship is very tight-knit, where it's not just a collaboration or a partnership, but it goes much deeper than this. We really follow the DNA of XBorg and are helped by XBorg's executives along our journey. Talking about the executives, we actually have Cyrus Fazel, the CEO of XBorg, advising us on a weekly basis, as well as Jérôme de Tichet, a renowned figure in the Web3 gaming industry, who's the CEO of Comet, one of the leading Web3 game, but also president of the Ethereum France Association. We also have Désiré Coussavo, quite a figure in the esports industry, who's the president of Esports France, but also an ex-MD from ESL. And overall, our core team has relevant expertise in the technical fields, in marketing fields, growth, esports, and gaming. One thing to note is we are all passionate gamers. So no, I don't have time to highlight all of the amazing profiles we have here. But for example, Laureline, who's been one of the founding engineers of XBorg, Anthony's helping us on the strategy, but also as advisor. Anthony's, of course, the co-founder and CSO of XBorg. We have myself with relevant expertise in decentralized technologies, where I was previous contributor at MakerDAO and CityDAO. And that is it, really. That is the full pitch. So I hope you liked it. Don't hesitate to just give us your comments on the pitch. So it helps us improve over time. And thank you so much for your time, and we see each other very soon.